Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to T-Ski Tutorials, and this is FPS 1.32. In today's episode, we're going to be getting into the basic theory of how the AI pathfinding system is going to be working in our game. So I tried to set up the AI pathfinding system in a way that you would be able to take this basic concept and actually put it inside of your own game, whether or not you're doing the first-person shooter or not. So no matter what game you're making, as long as there's one player, you should be able to set this up in your game and have enemies that can move around and follow you throughout the level. Alright, so rather than tell you, I'm just going to show you and cut the green screen and go into Unity and show you how the AI pathfinding system works and how easy it is to set up, or how easy it is to set up once you already have your code in place. And then after that, I'm going to cut the screen recording again, and I'm going to be going over to the whiteboard and actually show you a couple of drawings and hopefully help explain better the exact theory of how this script system is going to work. So yeah, now I'm going to cut the green screen and go into Unity and show you how this AI pathfinding system works inside of Unity. Alright, so here is what our AI pathfinding system is going to look like inside of Unity. And as you can see, it consists of cells and doors. The green ones are cells and the blue ones are doors. And if, why don't I just start the game so that I can show you. The cells and doors don't actually show up in the game. They're completely invisible and the player is never going to see these. But as you can see, when I step in here, all these guys start following me, and it doesn't matter where in the level I go. They're going to follow me wherever that is, and they use a crowd system so that they don't run through each other, and they actually slow down when they're in confined spaces in large numbers, and their paths are randomized. And yeah, this is the simplest AI pathfinding system I could come up with. So this is what we're going to be doing inside of the tutorials. So why don't I actually show you how it is that these are set up. So first of all, the scripts we have are AI path cell, AI path door. Actually, I guess I'm going to skip mono develop, force quit. Okay, ignore. Okay, anyways, so here is the script for the cell and the door, and where is the enemy movement, and those are the three main ones we're going to be working with at first. So let me point out what the AI or the AI path door script does, and that is the script that is attached to these blue blocks. So the way each of these enemies are going to find their way around in the level is that, well, first of all, they're going to keep track of their current cell that they're in. So for the one that I have highlighted, his current cell would be this one here. And let's say my player was up here in this cell up here. He'd have to figure out how to get there. So what he's going to do is he's going to look at all of the available doors. And in this case, there are 4 of them. And what each door is going to have is a list of all of the cells in the game, and then a second list that synchronizes with that list that says how many doors you're going to have to go through to get to each cell from that particular door. So if we take a look at it, this particular door is the door he's going to want to go to because that leads to the shortest path to get to this cell. So he's going to take a look at all of these doors. So let's say he takes a look at this door first. If he goes through this door, he's going to have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cells. This door, 1, 2, also 6 cells. And this door, I believe, is also 6 cells. And then this one will be 5 cells, because once he goes to this door, he's going to need to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cells. So he's basically going to look at all of the available doors, and whichever door has the smallest number to get to the cell that he wants to get to, then he will take that door and come up with a randomized path between where he is now and where he needs to be. Or actually, I mean, he kind of comes up with that path as he goes along, and it'll make more sense once I actually show you how the script works. But as you can see, there's quite a bit that goes into it, so we're going to be breaking this all up into different chunks. Alright, so that is the theory of how our AI pathfinding system is going to work. So now that I showed you it inside of Unity, now I'm going to show it to you on a whiteboard so that I can more detailedly, is that a word? Detailedly? Well, tell you with more detail about how this system is going to work and how each of these doors here are going to calculate which cells take how many doors to get to for each cell, because to do this by hand would just take forever and any mistakes would result in the AI pathfinding to just not work. So we need a script to do that for us. So now I'm going to explain the logic of how the script is going to work in a drawing. Alright, so here's a rough sketch of a basic level. And as you can see, all of these squares are cells and all of these circles are doors. So the way the script is going to work is that each of the doors are going to, on their own, remember how many doors you have to go through to get through each cell from that particular door. So let's say you have an enemy right here and a player right here. So the way this is going to work is the enemy is going to know that they want to get to this cell right here, and that they are currently in this cell right here. And they know that from the cell that they are currently in, that they have 3 options as far as doors that they can go through. So the enemy has to decide which door is the shortest path in order to get to the player. So what it's going to do is it is going to search the list that is stored inside of all 3 of these doors. Remember, the list that tells how many doors you have to go through to get to each cell, and then it is going to look at this cell in particular in each of these doors lists, and whichever one has the smallest number, it is going to choose that door. So let's say if the enemy looks at this door here, this door, to get to this cell, you'd have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 doors, the same that way. So it will choose either of those two randomly, and then this, or let's see, I mean these doors here, you're gonna have to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, and this one 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5, 4, and 4. So since these two are the smallest, it's going to choose between these doors, whichever one is later on the list, so more in a random fashion. So basically it's just finding the shortest path in order to get to the player. So let's take a look at this door right here that I circled in blue to make it more obvious. So we're looking at just this door by itself right now. So the way that this door is going to have a list that is going to list out all of the cells in the level and exactly how many doors you're going to have to go through to get, whoops, I bumped the microphone, to get to each of those cells. So let's see, these two doors, or these 2 cells, it's going to have to go through 1 door. To get to this cell, 2, 2, and 2. To get to these ones, 3, 3, 3, and then 4, and 4. So from this particular door, now we have a list of every single cell in the level of how many doors you're going to have to get to, or that you're going to have to go through to get to that particular cell. Now we could set up these lists by hand, but the only problem with that is that it would just take a long time, and any small error would make the scripts just not work, and the AI pathfinding would get lost and confused. So we're going to come up with a script in order to set all of this up, what I just did, for us automatically in the very beginning of the game. So let's go over how to do that. Alright, so I had to squeeze quite a bit of information in here, but basically the way I have it set up is, well, first of all, we are looking at only this door. So we're going to be setting up a very similar system, or I mean really the identical system on every single one of the doors, but in order to understand it, we're only going to look at just this one door. So first of all, I have all of the cells numbered 1 through 10, and this is just based on their position in the world, and it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the numbering, which I have also listed over here to represent each cell, has absolutely nothing to do with actually how this array is going to remember all of these cells. It's going to remember them by game objects and not by numbers, but I'm just using the numbers so that we can see up here in this list which cell we are talking about, so that we can create two arrays that match up in how many doors you have to go through to get to each cell. So as you can see right here, I have array cells. So this is basically going to be an array that's going to remember a list of game objects that are all of the cells in the world. And then I have a second array over here that is going to match up with this array over here, and it is called array doors to cell. So this is going to be from the current door that we are looking at, or that the script that is attached to this door is going to remember how many doors you have to go through to get to each of these cells. So now we have to look at how exactly our script is going to set this up in the beginning of the level, and actually figure out how many doors you have to go through to get to all of the cells that are available in our scene. Alright, so before the door scripts can even start doing their job, we have to set up the cell scripts. And the cell scripts are going to be extremely simple. The cells themselves are just going to remember which doors are actually in contact with that particular cell. So let's take this cell for example. In the very beginning of the game, this cell is going to create an array that just remembers this door, and this door. And this script, or this array, will be available to the door script or any of the door scripts, so that then the doors can figure out exactly how many doors you have to go through to get to each cell. In order for the doors to be able to find how many doors you have to go through to get to each cell, we're going to need to do this in stages. So first we're going to find all of the cells that you only need to go through one door in order to get to that cell. Next we're going to do stage 2, and that is the doors that you have to go through 2 doors to get to that cell, and then 3, 4, 5, etc. And we're going to keep on going until we've gone through the entire length of the list of how many doors or how many cells are in our scene. So stage 1 is extremely simple. The only thing we need to do is figure out which cells are physically in contact with our door right now. So that would be cell 6 and cell 7. So for both of these, we know that we only need to go through one door to get to that particular cell. So let's go over to our array and let's find cell 6. And cell 7. Alright, so now we are on stage 2. So the way stage 2 is going to work is it is going to look at all of the cells that are currently set for 1, or were set in stage 1. So we're just going to do stage -1 and list out or go through all of those cells, and in this case that is cell 6 and cell 7, these two here. So now that we've found the cells that were set in the previous stage, now we're going to access the script that is attached to the cell of each of those cells that were found in the previous stage. And remember, in the cell script, the only thing those cells do is remember all of the doors that were in contact with that cell when it was created. So first let's take a look at this cell and all of the doors that we're going to have to go through for that cell. So this cell, cell 6, has 3 doors in contact with itself. 1, 2, 3. But one of these doors is the door that we are currently looking at, so we're going to ignore this door and only look at these 2 doors here. Now what we need to do is go through each of these doors, and each of these doors are going to have saved inside of their script which cells are physically in contact with them, or what we're going to be calling the immediate cells, or the cells that you only have to go through one door in order to get through. And in that case we have, well, we're ignoring this door because this door is the script that we're looking at. So we're only going to be looking at this one, and this one, since both of these doors share this immediate cell. So now we're looking at these three cells. And now what we need to do is find all of the cells that are not marked yet. So this one hasn't been marked, this one was marked as 1, and this one hasn't been marked. So now we have eliminated it down to these two cells. So now we know that these two cells, you have to go through two doors in order to get to those cells. So we're going to mark those as 2, and then so that's 4 and 9. And then we're going to move on to stage 3. Actually, I missed one cell. We can't quite go on to stage 3 yet because we forgot about this cell here. So we're taking a look at this cell from stage 1. We're going to look at all of its doors. So that's this one and this one. But since this script or this door is the one that we are looking at, we're only going to look at this door. So we need to look at the immediate cells to this door, which are this cell, and this cell has already been marked. So we're going to mark this cell as 2 because we are in stage 2. So cell number 8 is 2. Alright, so now we are on stage 3. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at all of the previous stage 2 cells, which are this one, and this one. And we're going to look at all of the doors attached to those stage 2 cells. So those doors are this door, this door, this door, this door, this door, and this door. Now we need to look at all the immediate cells that are attached to those doors. So we are looking at this cell, this cell, this cell, this cell, this cell, this cell, and this cell. Now we need to eliminate it down to just the cells that haven't been marked, which are this cell, and this cell. So now that we know that those haven't been marked and those are the immediate cells to the cells that are attached to the stage 2 cells, then they must be stage 3 cells because they haven't been marked yet. So let's set those all to stage 3. So that is 1, 5, and 10. So 1, 5, and 10. And now we are ready to move on to stage 4. Alright, so just like in the last stage, we're going to look at all of the cells from the last stage, which is stage 3, and we're going to look at all of the doors attached to those cells. So we have this door, this door, this door, this door, and this door, and now we need to look at all of the immediate cells to those doors that I just pointed out. So that is going to be this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, and this one. And then we need to look at the ones that haven't been marked yet, which are just these two up here. And since they haven't been marked, we can assume that those are stage 4s. And those are cells 2 and 3. So let's set those up to 4. And now we have gone through all of the cells in our game. So of course, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cells, we would actually go all the way up to stage 10 just to make sure we don't miss any cells. I think the only time this would ever come into play is if your entire level was just a long cell after cell after cell and there were no turns. But yeah, just going through the number of cells that are in the scene are going to ensure that we don't miss any cells and that we go through the whole list. In this case, we only needed to go up to 4. So yeah, that is the basic logic of how we are going to set up these two arrays that synchronize with each other and save the number of cells that you have to go through to get to each door. And remember, we were looking at this door here, so we would have to do the exact same process, or rather Unity and the script will have to do the exact same process for each of the doors. It's going to be doing the exact same thing. So now, no matter where the enemy is, it's able to look at all of the available doors and go through this array and find the shortest path to wherever the player is. So, I guess this is the brief explanation of the theory of how the pathfinding is going to work. So, my next episode, we will actually be going over the script of the cell script and the door script, and we're just going to set it up and try to make a very complicated for loop system that is going to figure out all of this stuff for us. Alright, till my next episode, I'll see you guys later, and keep making games.